Sports Professor Rick Horrow, Yahoo Finance, Yahoo Family of Networks, NBC Family of Networks, the business show that doesn't really take itself too seriously, although the latest number we've got is approaching nearly $1 trillion, and that's a lot of money on an annual basis to spend in anything. It's a $750 billion business of sports and even more. And every once in a while, we find hallmark companies, those companies that, frankly, are committed to the business of sports to help develop and activate their brand. And John Coombe, the VP of Brand Management and Sponsorships for Liberty Mutual, it's one of those companies, and he's one of those guys. In business since 1912, 50,000 people, 900 offices around the world, big time in all kinds of sports, certainly big time in major issues, for example, volleyball, bigger time now with the announcement of the deal with the U.S. Soccer Federation through 2018. I'm talking too much. We got to get John on the line. How's that for an intro?
Fantastic, Rick. Thank you very much for the opportunity to talk.
Absolutely. So, first of all, give us some perspective about your job, your mandate, your evaluations, your metrics. Obviously, with such a large global company, you have trade-offs and decisions all the time to get the best possible value for your buck. And the industry's changed. So give us some perspective on your role and how it's morphed over time.
Yeah, that's a fair question. And in fact, you're right. The industry has changed a great deal, and our category has changed a great deal. So you look at some of our main competitors in our category, they're very much more heavily weighed into the sponsorship space these days than ever before. And we're trying to keep pace, quite frankly. Aligning ourselves with properties like Team USA, the United States Olympic Committee, U.S. Soccer, U.S. Rowing, has really enabled us to garner some additional eyeballs and additional attention from consumers that have these strong affiliations, with America, and wanting to do the right thing over the easy thing. So we're just trying to, do the best thing we can do in the marketplace for our consumers, for our policyholders, but at the end of the day, do the right thing for America too.
And the bottom line of all of this as well is it's easy to say, and you guys have held to your principles for an incredible amount of time. One of the big blue chip companies, the perception couldn't be better, but it doesn't happen overnight. Give us your idea of the kinds of evaluations, the kind of business practices, the kinds of metrics that go into this kind of mandate. How do you basically put your activation and sponsorship money where your mouth is, so to speak?
Well, we really focus on three main objectives. First and foremost, it's really around our employees, to be candid with you. We want to engage our employees, make them feel good about the company that they work for, and hopefully, they'll recommend other folks, to work for our organization as well going forward. Second of all, it's about driving awareness and enhanced perception of our brand. We're in a very competitive category, the insurance category, especially automobile insurance. So, and any time that you can sort of differentiate yourself and stand out in that category, you're doing a phenomenal job. And last of all, it's a business model, like you said. I mean, at the end of the day, you're trying to enhance the business situation that your company faces and drive more business through our acquisition channels. So it's a classic. So those of you who are on the phone or listening in from a marketer's perspective, it's a classic, marketing funnel objective, driving business from the top of the funnel, which is awareness of your brand, all the way through sales. Classic marketing, and we believe strongly that sponsorship can help us achieve many, many, many of those attributes.
John Coombe, VP Brand Management and Sponsorships, a great blue chip company, Liberty Mutual. You can tell from the Boston accent that you know where their company is headquartered, but it is a global, worldwide reach as well. Business model, hone in for a second. Gone are the days, and you trace the history of the business where you find a CEO that likes a sport, you go play golf with them, you cut that deal, you figure out ROI later. That doesn't work with many, if any, companies that are growing. So obviously you've got some discipline, analytics. Just tell us a little bit about your vetting process when you decide what you want to do to the point of getting it done.
Well, first and foremost, we also participate in the golfing space. So we actually have we call the Liberty Mutual Invitational Golf Tournament, where we actually support 80 events across the country, and those are amateur events where we help raise funds for local charities at the very local level. So we helped raise over $7 million last year for local events. So it's not that golf is gone, but I think we're finding other ways to leverage different sports and different opportunities, and that's very much of a grassroots sort of level where we provide hospitality and local fundraising efforts to help communities that are desperately in need of particular funds that they don't get the attention they need to from the big players. So we're still in the golf space, but at the same time, we believe fundamentally that you go big or go home. So some of these opportunities, like on the Olympics or U.S. soccer, provide us a platform, for growing, in the not too distant future. We are so bullish right now on soccer in the United States. We think they've come a very long way, and we think that everywhere from our FIFA relationship, where we sponsored a Team USA and so forth internationally, all the way through our youth development programs. So we've been involved since 2007 in U.S. youth soccer. So we're involved in a program called Play Positive, where coaches and parents have a positive impact on youth sports over time. What happens there is that we're also allowing for folks who may not have access to the funds to develop sports in their local communities through that Play Positive program to be able to acquire funds, to be able to do things in their local community that might not have had the ability to do in the past.
And you already talked about soccer, so obviously you're bullish on that. Our relationship with Scott Blackman and the Olympic Committee tells us how valuable you are to them and the associations, not just the USOC, obviously, but softball, ski, snowboard, hockey, volleyball, water polo, wrestling, rowing, just to name a few. Why are you so bullish on Olympic activation, and what are some of your future plans?
Folks might not know that Liberty Mutual is a Fortune 100 company. We actually operate in 30 countries around the globe, and 25% of our revenues comes internationally. It doesn't mean that we're focusing all our sponsorship activities globally, but it's important that folks understand that we are a company that's very much financially stable. We've been around, like you said, over 100 years, and there's a bit of a mystery probably in the marketplace of who we are. So when we align ourselves with properties like Team USA and U.S. Soccer, we get folks taking another look at us in the marketplace when they're thinking about, renewing, their automobile or home insurance policies or business policies for that matter. So it really gives us a footprint or a platform to have a much more robust, business dialogue with folks that maybe they didn't know that much about us beforehand. So we're definitely in the crosshairs of folks looking to purchase insurance or renewing insurance, and we think we get a leg up when we start aligning with properties like Team USA and U.S. Soccer, because what they do is they have kind of built-in cachet with a lot of folks, and they believe that here's a company that's doing the right thing in the marketplace over the easy thing. We're not in the marketplace. We like to have what we call adult-to-adult conversations with our consumers. We believe that insurance is a serious product, and we believe that we align ourselves with serious partners who understand at the end of the day that we're trying to do the right thing for consumers and the right thing for our country.
Very clear, concise statement of a long-term business mandate with a company that, as we said, 76 on the Fortune 100 list and growing responsibly, largely because of the marketing direction of John Coombe and others. Final question for you. 10 years from now, broadly defined, hard question, what's the business of sports marketing going to be like? Is it more in media branding? Is it more digital? Is it more social? Give us kind of your one area from a business perspective that you think is more intense a few years from now than it is today.
I'll give you an example. So when we sponsored our FIFA relationship, and we're seeing this with U.S. Soccer, very much passion points for individuals. Social media is going to be the medium of choice, continue to be a medium of choice moving forward. The more effective we can be at delivering our message and engaging our consumers and employees via social media platforms, I think the more successful we're going to be and the more successful sports are going to be. I think that's what the real driving factor in sports. It's live. It's real. It's tangible. It's not taped for audiences, generally speaking, right? Folks are going to be wanting more access to real-time content. I can't think of a better example of real-time content than sports and sports in America.
On that note, John Coombe, Liberty Mutual, great company in great hands. Rick Horrow, Yahoo Finance, Beyond the Scoreboard. See you in just a couple of minutes.